You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
Fabulous.
Live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Amazing.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
8:06 the time. Good morning, everyone. Great to have you with us here on this Sunday fun day morning. It is the 23rd day of June. I hope you're enjoying your summer. It started just the other day.
Yes, it did. First full day of summer.
And did you see the moon last night?
Beautiful. It should be even more impressive tonight.
Yeah, it is a super moon.
Yes.
So we'll have more on the super moon coming up a little bit later in the news segment. If I didn't mention, I am your host, Randall White, joined by the lovely and talented Patty Pyburn. And you've arrived at California's #1 place, Patty, to talk about current trends in food, beverages, travel, and tourism. And it is our goal each and every week to give you the tools you need to enjoy life's pleasures in a healthy, sustainable, and community-focused manner. So great to have you with us, everyone, here on Crush 92.5 and also KSCO AM 1080. This hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by Eberly Winery in Paso Robles, open daily from 10 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night with complimentary wine tasting and cave tours. Voted by Wine Spectator as one of the best tours on the entire Central Coast, Eberly Winery is located on Highway 46 East in Paso Robles. That's right off 101, about 3 miles on your left-hand side. Log on to eberlywinery.com, EBERLE winery.com. And this would be a good weekend to head to Eberly. The fog has moved in along the Central Coast here, which means it'll be a little bit cooler in the what would that be? The lower Salinas Valley can really heat up. That's still part of the Salinas Valley, right? Because the Salinas
all the way down to Paso, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because the Salinas River starts at Santa Margarita Lake.
I think that is right, yes. That sounds right.
If I have my geography correct. Okay, we have an amazing show ahead. Really, really great guests, including Josh Stein. He's with Stein Family Wines. They are located, well, his office is in Napa, and they source their grapes from a number of different areas. But their tasting room is on Treasure Island, which is halfway.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's halfway between Oakland and San Francisco on the Bay Bridge. There's a little island that connects two of the spans. And they've really started to develop. It used to be a naval base, and they've put housing in there and now tasting rooms, you know. The only problem is there's not an easy way to go wine tasting and then just go to your hotel. You know? So you definitely need a designated driver in that case. Anyway,
yes.
They have a wine out. Have you heard of, I've always called it a Meritage, but it's a Meritage.
Oh, okay.
It's rhymes with heritage.
Heritage, okay.
It's actually a made-up word. Which,
really?
Yeah, which he can tell us about. But they have one called Same-Sex Meritage. You know, like same-sex marriage, it sounds the same. And it's specifically so that when you have your nuptials, you can have a wine that's right on it.
I like that.
Josh is a great guy. I've interviewed him before, and so he'll be talking about that. And on the subject of wine, how'd you like to take a wine cruise through the Panama Canal?
That sounds amazing.
You were just visiting this tasting room, weren't you, Patty?
Lucas and Lewellen in Solvang. Yes, I was.
Boy, downtown Solvang couldn't be cuter.
No, it's such a quaint, cute place.
Yeah, northern Santa Barbara County and in the San Ynez wine tasting region. And this is not their first go-round at it. I think it's like cruise number 5 or something.
Yeah, when I heard that they do this for their wine club members, give them this travel option, what a cool thing. I don't know if other wineries do this. This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Traveling wine club, I love it.
I know. Well, we had the beer cruise on earlier this year.
Yeah.
And so we thought, well, let's, for our travel segment, we'll do a wine cruise.
Why not?
And then next hour, we welcome back Mike Robbins, the EMT who works at Mountain View's Firehouse No. 1. He is
right. The garden guy.
The garden guy. You know, after we did the story, you and I have a common friend, John Zucchelli, who is the assignment editor
at the NBC station up there.
Yeah, NBC Bay Area. So John saw the post that I did on it. and on the Twitter feed, I think. And so, which, by the way, you can follow us on Twitter at eatdrinkexplore.com. That's where the news directors in the know in the Bay Area get their news source.
As evidenced by.
As evidenced by. So John saw that. He goes, great story. He goes, I think I'm going to hand this off to our, they have like a features team, you know, like a team of people that do sort of feature-y stories. And sure enough, Mike sent me a note and he goes, the NBC station did a story on me. Thank you. You know, so
that is cool.
He's become a little bit famous. He's been featured through the California Agriculture. What's the name of that group? They're the ones where I originally found the story. The farm. Something. It's like,
not sure. There's Farm Bureau?
Farm Bureau.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah, they were.
That was like too obvious to say.
It was way too easy. Yeah, but it's Sunday morning. You know,
this is
after
true.
a supermoon. So anyway, the Farm Bureau did a story on him. Then we did the piece, and then NBC Bay Area did the piece. Anyway, he's back to talk about. You know, he gave us the spring tips. Now he's giving us summer tips because people are starting to get tomatoes on their vines. And we're doing
not your
something-
vines.
We're doing something terribly wrong. There
Not
are
Randall's vines.
well, there are some tomatoes on there, but
It's
they're
hit and miss with you. You had a great year last year. What's happening?
yeah. You know, we didn't use compost this year.
Well, there you go.
I know, and I hesitate to
There
put
you
the
go.
chemicals on the, you know, like I'm trying to grow them organically,
Right.
But I'm not doing something right. Anyway, we'll talk to him about that. And then finally, in the 9:30 half hour, I don't know if you heard about this, 50,000 bumblebees died in Oregon.
I heard unexplained, right?
Well, no, they've traced it to.
They have figured it out.
Right, to a pesticide used to. These trees are ornamental that are in this Target parking lot, and
They were treated with something.
they were treated with something. And so this group has gone in and put netting over the trees
to keep the bees away.
to keep the bees away, but not before some 50,000 of them died. And there's
Wow.
been in the same area. There's been some other bee deaths. Up
I
there.
saw the headline that said, you know, unexplained, you know, thousands of bees died. I
Yeah.
didn't realize they had figured it out. Oh, that's
Yeah.
really sad.
So Scott Hoffman Black is with Xerces. They're the society that discovered this, and he's actually down in Los Angeles right now, and will call us from his hotel room before he catches his flight. He's the executive director there, and he is going to explain exactly the source
More
and,
about what they found out.
Yeah, and you know, this isn't. Up until this point, there have been no colony collapse problems with bumblebees. It's been honeybees, as we know that
Right.
where that issue's been. So he can talk about the difference and that
The
sort of thing.
distinctions. Interesting.
You know,
Okay.
I think it will. I think it's going to be fantastic. And then at coming up here in this very next segment, we are giving you 5 travel scams to avoid. This is from Time Magazine, and I have to tell you, you know how sometimes there will be a list of like travel scams or something, and then you never just go like, "Oh, that's great information." It's usually like common sense, duh.
You usually go, who fell for that?
Right. It's like, you know, if somebody calls and asks you for your
Social security number and your bank account number.
yeah,
And
right. And so I started looking over this list, and I was like, these are really good tips, and I could see myself possibly, you know, falling into one of these traps. So
Right.
we will give you these top 5 travel scams to avoid from Time Magazine. Summer travel is underway. and
very cool.
It's our job here at Eat, Drink, Explore to keep you safe. I guess. I don't know.
It sounded good. It sounded good.
We're trying to keep you fat and happy. 8:14 the time. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore, and we are back in just a moment. Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
California business owners, entrepreneurs, farmers, authors, and other professionals, this message is for you. We're looking to highlight those of you who give back to the community, care about the environment, and have the health of our state as part of your business model or focus. Our new California Love website is in the beta testing phase. So, during the next few months, we're offering free listings to qualified people or business entities. It's a win-win situation. You help populate our site with quality, locally owned California companies, and we help direct customers to your business or product. Simply head over to CALUV.com. That's CA as in California, LUV as in a cute way to spell love.com, and enter the information for your business today. Why wouldn't you? It's easy and it's free. CALUV.com, the California Love Business Recommendation Tool. The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience. Welcome back to the program, everyone. 8:19 now the time here on this Sunday Fun Day morning. It is June the 23rd, and we are very happy to have you with us here on the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm Randall White, joined by Patty Pyburn.
Good morning.
During the commercial break, Patty says to me, I thought for sure when you said you were doing the thing on bees that you were going to talk about the incident that happened in Illinois. Apparently a guy who had done, 15 years of research or so?
Well, he's been researching bees for like 50-some years, but I think the most current research is 10 or 15 years, what I read. And the government, apparently they do inspections, and had some reason, which he says is not a legit reason.
Not valid.
And seized his bees, and which is essentially seizing his research. He's been studying them.
This is the state of Illinois, not the federal government?
I believe it's the state of Illinois, the ag inspectors, but I would have to look back at the article to be certain of that.
And what his research was pinpointing is the fact that this colony collapse disorder within honeybees may be caused by Roundup.
Yes, he's looking at the effect of pesticides, specifically Roundup, on bees. And, of course, We don't know, but his claim is that the seizure of his bees was not legitimate and that it has to do with the focus of his research.
Because Monsanto was not happy about this
No.
research, you can imagine.
No.
And so how Roundup works is by blocking a mineral, blocking minerals, so then the weeds die.
Weeds die, and they are finding a similar thing in bees. They think are being affected by this, and they're giving them some treatment and seeing some improvement.
Yeah.
So they're
interesting.
Yeah. So of course, more research needs to be done. But
well, we'll ask this Scott Hoffman Black that we're having on at the bottom of the hour. Or
we'll see what he knows about this
at the bottom of the next hour, I should say. His society is all about like bees and that whole animal part of the animal kingdom. So I'm sure he knows all about that as well. We can ask him about that and the bumblebee story from Oregon. Excuse me, a little air that wants to come out. Okay, so. 5 summer travel scams to avoid. This is from Time Magazine, dated just yesterday. Martha White, no relation, is the person who put this list out. And I just started going through the list and I realized that these are really good tips. They're things that I could find myself falling for. One of them is, or the first one she lists anyway, is the fake front desk call. So you're staying in a hotel. In the middle of the night, your phone rings in the room, and you're probably in a sound sleep, in a strange bed, a little bit disoriented, and they say it's the front desk calling, and that there's been a computer glitch, and they need to verify your credit card information that's on file. Well, I could see thinking that might be the case.
Could be legit, yeah.
Right, especially if you just checked in that day or, that sort of thing. And so, but clearly this is not the front desk calling, and it is someone from outside the organization that apparently this is on the rise.
So they're fishing for information.
And doing it in what I think is a really clever, that's clever. You got to give them that.
I could see that working. Sometimes you hear, like you were saying earlier, you hear scams and you just think, who fell for that? But I could see that one catching some people.
Yeah. The next one is one that I absolutely can see myself falling into, and I think I probably already have. You are at a hotel, you're sitting by the pool, and you're using the Wi-Fi hotspot from the hotel. These are called pineapples, and
this is hacker speak? Pineapple?
Yep, it's hacker speak, and it's called a pineapple. I'd never heard that before. Apparently, they pull up alongside the hotel with I don't know why I'm picturing a van.
They're like sitting in a van. They have dark glasses on, and they haven't shaven in days.
It's probably not even anything like that, but that's what I'm picturing. Anyway,
it could be the guy sitting next to you.
It could be. And they create their own Wi-Fi hotspot, and what they do is they call the hotspot something really similar. Like, let's say you're staying at the XYZ hotel. They call it the XYZ hotel Wi-Fi or whatever.
They have a similar name to where you're staying, so you would think, oh, I can log on to this.
Yeah, this is it right here. Boom, And so you log on, and then they got you. So if you do anything at that point, like check your bank account.
They have access to whatever you're doing.
Right. And they can get all your passwords and all that sort of thing.
That is scary.
Isn't that? And I can totally see that happening. Yeah. Most hotels, the higher end hotels or the large chains where I've stayed, Hilton, Hyatt, that whole realm, Marriott, there's typically a code you get.
Right.
So if that code if you don't need a code to log on, it's probably it's probably not the hotel's
oh gosh.
Deal
yeah,
there.
that one could get you for sure.
They're called it's an evil twin. I'd never heard the pineapple thing before though. So okay, the disappearing money pack deposit. According to this piece in Time, it says earlier this month, the Better Business Bureau issued a warning about Money Pack, which is that's a trademark, an electronic service used to load funds into a prepaid debit card. Money Pack has become a favorite of scam artists because, like its predecessor, the wire transfer, it's quick, anonymous, and untraceable.
Oh.
The Better Business Bureau suggests that people should treat Money Pack just like cash. But since money packs are associated with prepaid debit cards, it's understandable that people think there's
some protection with them.
Yeah, and there's not. The bad news is
it's not like your credit card when you become a victim of fraud. Your credit card company has things to do to reimburse you and make up for that.
Right. So you don't get
You're just out.
Any coverage. So that's one where, once again, I could see thinking that I might have some level of coverage with the... Well, I don't use those money pack cards, but
you would think there was some sort of a guarantee with them, like a regular credit card. But oh, okay, that's a good one to know.
The non-existent vacation rental. I just, with my sister...
I've heard about this.
My sister turned 50 this past... I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but...
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sue, you're 50 now, huh? Okay.
She turned 50 this past February 26th and rented a place in Bodega Bay, which was beautiful up in Northern California on the, I think that's Sonoma coast. And we went through one of those vacation by owner places, vrbo.com, but I don't think we went through that version of it. But apparently there's a growing number of people who pretend like there's a vacation house, and you go through everything, because you can't go to the vacation spot and check it out. In most cases, you're not that close, right? And then
that's kind of the point.
Exactly, right?
You want to get away.
And of course, you always need a deposit and those sorts of things.
Right.
I could see this really taking off on things like Craigslist, but let's see. I'm trying to quickly read
You're
this
reading
over here.
yeah.
One traveler told consumer advocate Christopher Elliott, who's great, by the way. Follow Christopher Elliott on Twitter. His Twitter feed is fantastic. Last month, how her search for a vacation home with $1 million view led to losing $645 to a fraudster,
Yeah, and I've heard this from people. You trust the person, you send a deposit or what have you, and then they have no right to actually be renting out the property that they're renting, but they're gone, and so is your deposit money.
Pardon me. And then finally, the hijacked ATM, and you've heard about these before.
This happens at gas pumps, too.
Yes. The thing is how do you really
get
around that?
Right. How would you know if your ATM or gas pump or whatever automatic payment thing you're using has been rigged?
Yeah.
That's a tough one to know, I think.
There was a waitress at a Red Robin restaurant in Washington busted last month for running up a $16,000 tab on credit cards she skimmed while working. Again,
that's like you give the waitress your credit card. There's no way to know.
Yeah, it's a national chain.
Yeah.
You're like, everything's on the level and orderly here. But I'm always wary of using those ATMs that are not connected to any kind of bank. They're typically in bars.
The kind of
casinos.
generic ones, yeah.
Right, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Those to me seem like they just have like warning signs. But usually if I'm using one of those, I'm at a point
you're
where
in a vulnerable state at that point anyways, if that's where you're getting your cash.
That is
just saying.
For sure. 8:28 the time. This next little segment that we have coming up here will be talking about same-sex wine. What? Yeah, it makes sense. And you'll find out all about it right after this break. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org.
The traditional light bulb, a groundbreaking invention in 1879. Other groundbreaking ideas from that time, the whalebone corset, the pedal-operated submarine, and the two-story outhouse. We've come a long way since then. It's time our light bulbs did the same. Visit EnergySavers.gov and learn about energy-saving light bulbs. See, these new bulbs are more efficient than the old ones, like a text message is more efficient than a carrier pigeon. They last longer, too, like how we humans last longer now that doctors use antibiotics instead of leeches. And they cut down on our energy costs, because in our own groundbreaking age of aeroplanes and moving pictures, we deserve a light bulb that saves us some cash. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience. .33 now the time here on this Sunday Fun Day morning. Great to have you with us, everyone, here for the Eat, Drink, Explore radio show. My lovely co-host Patty Pyburn by my side.
Good morning.
Good morning, Patty. This past week, first let me start somewhere else. Tomorrow, possibly, the Supreme Court of the United States could hand down their decisions on the Defense of Marriage Act and also the Prop 8. And so, I got married 4 days before Prop 8 went into effect.
Right before, yes.
Right before. We saw the writing on the wall. We saw, all the different surveys and stuff were pointing in a direction that we thought, you know what, we better hurry this up. So,
while you have the chance.
Yeah. At that time, in 2008, November 1st, 2008, there were not very many options for us in terms of wedding venues and all that kind of stuff. We were very, very lucky to have a church right around the corner from our house that was willing and actually went out of their way to marry us on such short notice. But I saw just the other day an article about all these different wineries that have gotten on board with the whole, because there's so many states now where same-sex marriage is legal. And so one of them is out of the Napa Valley. It's Stein Family Wines, and they have a wine that is named Same-Sex Meritage, which I always pronounced Meritage until I spoke with Josh Stein the other day. Josh actually joins us on the line right now to talk a little bit about this Meritage. I feel so in the know now, Josh, that I know how to pronounce that made-up word, right?
Yep. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good morning, Josh. So explain why the word Meritage had to be made up.
Sure. The easy way to remember it is Meritage rhymes with heritage. And so there was a treaty now going back several decades where we agreed, along with a number of other wine-producing regions around the world, not to use each other's geographic names on our own wine labels.
Like Bordeaux.
Exactly. The Bordeaux blend, which was the traditional way of talking about this style of red wine, where you have 3 or 4 different red grapes together, we would normally just call that a Bordeaux blend, except now you couldn't put it on the label. So, okay, this is supposed to be a best of the vintage blend. It's going to be really good. It should have merit. So let's call it Meritage. Only let's make it sort of Meritage, some power behind it, and that was the beginning of the Meritage Association.
Oh, there's an actual Meritage Association. I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's probably a good 7,500 wineries that are members at least.
Is this one of those words that's just so widely mispronounced that...
Randall wants to know if he's not the only one doing this.
Right.
On a daily basis, I would say. I did a pouring yesterday, and people pronounce it anyway. I always say to people, it's tomato. I don't care how you pronounce it, as long as you remember who produced it.
Oh, good point.
Right, just drink it.
Exactly.
So tell us about this same-sex meritage. This is an interesting take, and I bet a lot of people are happy to hear this.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting sort of situation for us to get the kind of recognition that we've seen. We've been doing cause wine, that's what we call, where you're using commerce to support progressive nonprofits. We've been doing that now for about 5.5 years. And so when we were approached by Freedom to Marry to come up with this project, it just seemed like a perfect match. We were already working in this space of trying to use commerce to sort of help the community. And here's an ongoing fight that's really about, as far as I'm concerned, it's not really about sexuality. It's about being a United States citizen and having the same freedoms and rights and duties as the rest of us. And so the ability to produce a product that allows us to support this organization, Freedom to Marry, and sort of make this political statement at the same time, in my book, it doesn't get much better.
We had on our program back in May of 2012, I'm pulling it up here, May 26th of 2012. Let's see here. Somebody with Cellar Angels. I'm just trying to find the name so that I can give them a shout out. Oh, Martin Cody. Martin Cody with Cellar Angels was on the show. Cellar Angels is one of those organizations that pairs up with different wineries to find a cause that they can support through sales of the wine. And it's through Cellar Angels that you came up with this idea, right?
Yes, actually. All of this really sort of has a Midwest connection, and maybe that just speaks something to that sort of sense of what we take care of each other in the Midwest. Cellar Angels is all about making these kind of connections between buyers and different worthy organizations. So again, it's this idea that, right, you use your commerce for good. You support the community so it's able to support you back. Mm-hmm. So my partner in this project was actually connected through Same-Sex Meritage, through Freedom to Marry, through Cellar Angels. All of it has a Midwest connection.
So one of your slogans, and I'm trying to pull that up here right now, that I find funny is that you say there are, in the United States, citizens should have 2 irrevocable freedoms. 1, to marry the person they love, and 2, to purchase an awesome wine at a reasonable price. Those are the 2 things in the United States. I think that's... How did you narrow it down to those 2?
Isn't that what it all kind of comes down to in the end? Right? You want to be able to hang out with who you want to hang out with, and you want to have a good bit of alcohol that doesn't cost too much, that helps to, let's say, ease the social situation along.
Yeah, one sort of feeds the other.
I'm a winemaker. To me, this is a natural connection. Why wouldn't this make sense?
I think that's, I just love that little quote there. Now, your office is in Napa, but your tasting room is on Treasure Island. Talk a little bit about how you went about choosing Treasure Island between San Francisco and Oakland as a place for people to taste.
Sure. Actually, it's part of it is the novelness of it, right? I mean, you say to people, we're literally in the middle of San Francisco Bay, and they kind of look at you like, wait, how do you do that? Are there vineyards there? And, of course, there are no vineyards in the middle of the bay. Sorry, no. But it was originally it was built for the World's Fair and was part of an airport, of all things.
Yeah, it's a man-made island, right?
Oh, yeah, that part of it is man-made. Mm-hmm. And it was then turned over to the military and then eventually ended up in civilian hands. And then the city and the county of San Francisco are doing their best to sort of encourage different ways of turning these different pieces of land into productive usage. And so for us, we took what had been the old meat locker, complete with 18-inch thick cement walls, which is perfect for a cellar, and we turned it into a winery. And it was a nice tasting room. You from the outside, it looks like any other sort of industrial building. But as you walk through the door, it's like you're walking into the middle of Sonoma County, and we did that effect on purpose. You don't expect a small micro brewer to be out in the middle of a wheat field, and there's no reason that small micro wine producers can't be anywhere at all.
That's a really good point. I had never thought about that. You're right. Why does the tasting room have to be there in the middle of the vineyard? I guess it does have like sort of a quaintness to it. But you were telling me when I spoke with you previously that in the old days, that it used to be that all the tasting rooms were in San Francisco and the wineries were in Napa.
Yeah, well, the vineyards were in Napa, and then the wineries. There wasn't really much tasting rooms at that point. Most wine was done in really sort of larger batch processes and shipped back to the East Coast. But because of transport, it's a lot easier to move grapes by horse-drawn carriage than it is to do bottled wine.
It's fine to think of horse-drawn carriage as being a factor in that.
Yeah, right.
The 19th century, though, right?
Right.
There was no pickup trucks going up and down the side.
No, plus your population base is there in the city, and it makes it a lot easier to just for sales.
I mean, to me, the kind of logic is, right, you have this sort of estate model, and the estate model works for some people, and it's about the idea that you're going to work with what you have from the land around you, and so naturally you'd have the tasting room right there. But for someone like me, who wants to be able to make lots of different things, lots of interesting things, then necessarily being tied to a specific place doesn't really give me that. That's like saying to a chef, you can only cook from the things grown on this one patch of land. For some people, that's going to work. But for other people, they want the variety and the options that is out there.
Right.
And my personal sort of style as a winemaker is all about blending. And so that's about creating a synthesis of the parts and making it greater than those pieces would be by themselves.
Yeah.
And I can do that anywhere.
I totally agree, Josh. Anthony, our audio guy, who's just off to my right here, and I went to an event in downtown San Luis Obispo on Thursday night called Roll Out the Barrels. It's right there in Mission Plaza. Really nice setting. And there are lots of different wines to taste, and I found that the ones I enjoyed the most were all blends.
Right.
I like blends. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's not that you can't necessarily have a good single varietal, but the truth of the matter is, even something that's labeled on the label as a single varietal, there are maybe multiple lots that have been blended together there. You're legally allowed a certain percentage. It doesn't have to even be identified on the label that can be blended in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that go on in terms of making a better product so that it's more enjoyable, that it's like the alchemy of any kind of cooking. I cook with grapes instead of with fresh raw ingredients, but it really is that same kind of creative process. And again, that sort of model that we're talking about goes back to Europe, and there they do not label varietally. It's labeled by region, and each region has different rules of which kind of blends are allowed.
Okay.
But almost nothing is bottled as a single varietal there at all.
Well, Josh, it's a lot like a marriage. You'll hear people say, "Oh, you're better half," right?
Yes.
Because you're blending the people together and
It's a blend.
and you're making a better product. Quickly, Josh, we don't have much time left. Can you tell people where they can get this Same-Sex Meritage?
Sure, absolutely. Obviously, the Treasure Island Tasting Room is open on the weekends, and there are plans to open a second retail location in San Francisco itself in a few months. And then we encourage people to check online because we are working on distribution for various states. So samesexmeritage.com or steinfamilywines.com, and the information's there.
And we have links to both of those at eatdrinkexplore.com under today's program summary. Josh Stein with Stein Family Wines. Thank you so much, sir. Fingers crossed for tomorrow. And we might have you on a different show that I produce that day. So, Josh, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, stick around, everyone, because just after the break, we are headed to yet another winery for a completely different purpose. This one is cruising the Panama Canal. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore. Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
Hello, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I want to tell you about my new favorite discovery, Yosemite National Park. I recently went there with my husband and children, and we walked the trails to see the breathtaking waterfalls, admired the grand meadows, and giant sequoias. But the future of our national parks is uncertain. Many challenges face our parks today, from polluted air and water to development threats outside their borders and inadequate funding to protect our national heritage. That's why the National Parks Conservation Association recently completed a decade-long assessment of the challenges facing our national parks, along with proposed actions that will ensure our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy the parks as we have. Our national parks have inspired Americans for nearly 100 years. As we approach the centennial of the National Park Service in 2016, please join us in helping to protect our national park legacy. Find out how at www.mpca.org.
Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience.
You waited all week, and it's finally here. The Eat, Drink, Explore Weekly Travel Deals Extravaganza.
Indeed. 8:49 the time on this Sunday fun day morning, June the 23rd. Travel season is clearly underway, but if you're not traveling in the coming days and you're one of those plan aheaders, like you like to plan way ahead, we have the deal for you. It sounds like a lot of fun. I am Randall White, joined by Patty Pyburn here on the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network.
Good morning.
And joining us on the line right now is, let's see here, we've got Kim Petersen and Andy Moore, both associated with Lucas and Lewellen Winery in the San Ynez Valley. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Yes, good morning, gentlemen. And so I want to start with you, Kim. You're putting this cruise together, but this is not the first time Lucas and Lewellen has done a cruise through the Panama. Well, I don't know if you've ever done one through the Panama Canal, but this is not the first time you've done a cruise for your wine club members.
Right. This is actually going to be our 6th annual wine cruise going through the Panama Canal. We have done, obviously, since this is our 6th annual cruise, we've done 5, so to various destinations. But this is a very special cruise because in addition to a 15-day trip from San Diego to Fort Lauderdale through the Panama Canal, we are also including a very special welcome aboard champagne reception where all the award-winning sparkling wines from Lucas Lewellen is going to be featured. And in addition to that, we have a 3-course wine pairing luncheon, and we have 2 private wine tastings, hosted cocktail party, and then we're going to have featured wines, Lucas and Lewellen wines, with dinners. So it's a great deal. And we actually have a special gift that we'd like to offer you radio listeners, that we have reduced the event fee by $100. So,
nice.
You can go to lnlwine.com and then click on events, and then you can get all the information.
So I have a question for you. Is this group on a ship that is a part of a larger cruise, or is it only people who are part of your group on the ship? Does that question make sense?
Yes, it's actually on Holland America's Veendam, and there's a passenger capacity of 1,350 passengers. So obviously we're not going to take up all the space, but all these events are private and exclusive to Lucas and Lewellen Wine Club.
That leads me to my next question. Is there guest envy with the other passengers about your group getting all of this great wine and stuff included in their package?
Absolutely, because you know what? It costs actually less to sign up for this cruise when you go through Lucas and Lewellen than it would if you're just going to go on the regular cruise.
Oh.
And so, because I get special pricing, I have obviously a travel business and been a wine club member of Lucas and Lewellen for a long time. So we thought that might be a good way to make it more fun for everybody.
Yeah.
It sounds fun. How much wine do you all bring for an event like this?
A lot.
A lot.
Well, on the last cruise that we just did, which was we went from Boston to Quebec earlier this year, we took I think 35 cases with us.
Oh,
we brought none back. So.
Speaking right there is Andy Moore. Andy, you're the tasting room manager there at the Lucas and Lewellen Tasting Room in downtown Solvang. Couldn't be cuter.
Indeed.
I've been there many times, and when I used to work for KCOY CBS 12 in Santa Maria, we had a deal with one of the local radio stations. I forget now what I even did. I did like weather for them or something, and then in exchange, they paid me in Lucas and Lewellen gift certificates. And I got to tell you, there was a period in my life I was very popular with my friends because anyone who would come over for dinner, I was always serving Lucas and Lewellen. You make some delicious varietals. Can you talk a little bit about your specialties?
Yeah, we actually grow 25 varieties on our 400 acres that we have around the valley here. We do a fabulous Pinot Noir that just won a gold medal. Cabernet Sauvignon, gosh darn.
Your Viognier, I remember being really delicious.
Oh, you know what?
Very good too on the white.
I can attest to that.
Rosé as well right now.
Patty, you were just there a couple of days ago.
Yeah, we do a wine thing for Central Coast News, and I was there in your tasting room 2-3 weeks ago with Colleen
Right.
and
Yes,
your
indeed.
winemaker Megan, and they were so
Right.
sweet. And I got to taste the Viognier, and Woo! I love it.
It's a white.
That's a popular one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was awesome.
That is the white, indeed, yeah.
Yeah, can you describe it a little bit? How a Viognier might be different from, like, say, something people know right off the top, like Chardonnay or Sauvignon Blanc?
Viognier tends to be fruity and can be a little bit spicy, and sometimes may have just a hint of sugar in it. It's usually, ours at least, is not oaked at all. It's stainless steel paints, so it's nice and crisp, and it's a great aperitif wine or great with spicy foods, too.
Hey, Andy, on this cruise, there's an educational element as well, right?
Yes, there is. Two of the things we do. Louis Lucas, one of the owners, he does a futures tasting, and Louis is a kind of a legend and a pioneer in the area as far as growing grapes. He's been growing grapes here since 1970, when he starts talking about grapes, you're going to get a lot of information, grapes and wine. And then I do a guess the varietal thing, which is we basically do a blind tasting of 4 or 5 different wines, and everyone in the room, including us, has to try and guess what it is.
That would be fun.
That is very interesting.
What a great way to spend your day on one of those at-sea days, you know?
Absolutely. No, we have a lot of fun on these things. We took 75 people from Boston to Quebec earlier this year. So it was a good turnout. And talking about other people on the ship, as Kim said, that particular ship, it's the same ship that we went to Canada on, has a capacity of around 1,300 people, and we were the largest group on the ship.
As Patty can attest, she and I have cruised before. We took a Mexican cruise down to Puerto Vallarta. Your bar bill at the end of you might get a great deal on the cruise, but your bar bill at the end is a shocker for a lot of people. They need to, hand out a baby aspirin for everyone so they can avoid heart attacks. And I would imagine by doing something like this, where you're going on a wine cruise as part of a wine club, it might help soften that bar bill.
Right.
Oh, I think so, quite a bit. Absolutely, yes.
So not only are you getting a better deal on the cruise itself, but then the sting at the end is less. I like that idea.
Indeed, yes. the less pages on your bill.
Right. So how many days is this, Kim?
It's a 15-day. It's from March 30th till April 14th. So, and then we have a lot of exciting stops. And so there's, including all the wine events that we have going on, there's plenty to do.
It sounds really fun. Kim and Andy, thank you so much for joining us today. We have links to this cruise at eatdrinkexplore.com under today's program summary. You can also go to llwine.com to learn more about Lucas and Lewellen. Thanks, you guys.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, stick around, everyone. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. Next hour, we are getting tips from an EMT at Firehouse No. 1 in Mountain View on gardening. And also, we'll learn about the bee deaths, the recent bee deaths throughout the nation, really.
Yes.
We're back in just a moment. The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network, live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Fabulous.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
And a very good day, everyone, on this Sunday, June the 23rd, coming to you live from downtown San Luis Obispo. I am your host, Randall White, joined by Patty Pyburn.
Good morning.
Patty is a media legend in San Luis Obispo.
I wouldn't go that far.
You have been on air at the local television affiliate, the CBS and the Fox, for how many years now?
Since January 1st, 2005.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
In this size market, that is legendary because there's a lot of
turnover.
There's a lot of turnover. But aside from that, you are also nourishing young brains at Cal Poly, California Polytechnic State University, San Luis Obispo, where I
Indeed.
am an alum. Not of the journalism department, though, but that's where you work, Patty. And your students, on a project that you worked very closely with, won a Mark Twain Award.
That's right.
For CPTV, which is Cal Poly TV, for their political coverage. Was it during the November election?
It was. Yeah, and they're such great students. I have to give them tons of credit because it is student-run media, so they just are go-getters. Two students submitted, Lindsay McLeod and Ed Zucchelli. And, of course, you and I are connected to Ed Zucchelli's
through his dad, John.
John Zucchelli, who also is a Cal Poly alum, also used to be our boss.
And isn't it their grandfather that started the journalism department? Or
he taught there.
He taught there.
He started the station where you and I both worked, and I still work, KCOI. He started that station in Santa Maria.
It's been about 25 owners since then.
Yes. He started it. So Ed Zucchelli was a professor in the journalism department, and John Zucchelli went through there. Ed went through there. So anyways, now Ed is an award-winning student journalist, which
that's great.
Is great. I'm so proud of them.
I'm proud of your students, and I know I've visited your classes on several occasions. I know how hard you work with these students, and I know you were not able to go to the award ceremony.
No, I didn't get to go.
But I'm sure all your students are.
I was there with them in spirit.
Yeah, and they know how closely you worked with them, and you
yes,
know, all that sort of thing. So. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very proud of them. Thank you, Randall, for mentioning that. They deserve the credit.
Well, it's a big deal. And, here in San Luis Obispo, there's actually some really good journalism that comes out of this part of the state. And so hats off. Hey, I want to say I'm sorry. Why can't I find it on here? Oh, you know why? I'm looking at your news.
You're not looking at the host script.
Right, which is coming up, by the way, in the next segment. I wanted to say that this hour of Eat, Drink... I could do this blind. I don't know why I had to have the script. This hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by Eberly Winery in Paso Robles. Open daily from 10 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night with complimentary wine tasting and cave tours. Voted by Wine Spectator as one of the best tours on the entire Central Coast, Eberly Winery is located on Highway 46 East in Paso Robles. So if you're on 101, head toward the valley, and it's on your left-hand side after about 3 miles. Log on to eberlywinery.com. That's EBERLE winery.com. And when you visit them, be kind to the servers. They're very nice there. And let them know while you're there that you heard about it here on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio on Crush 92.5 FM. They have been with us since in the inception of this show, and we thank them very much.
Yes.
So all the information we're able to impart each Sunday live is in part thanks to Eberly Winery. It's just a great organization, and they do so much for the community.
A lot of giving back.
Lots of giving back. So Eberly Winery, EBERLE winery.com. All right, coming up this next hour, lots more to talk about on the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network, including a trip to Mountain View's Firehouse No. 1 for some gardening tips. How are your tomatoes doing? Mine are not doing well, so you're going to want to listen. And then, so you'll want to listen because my tomatoes aren't doing well. And then also, we'll unlock the secrets of bees in the last half hour. We're back in just a moment. Hey, Farmers Market fans, listen up because we're launching a new show just for you. Join the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network each Thursday evening from 5:30 to 6 for a healthy dose of recipe sharing and food news. We broadcast our show live from the historic downtown San Luis Obispo Farmers Market, but the information shared is designed for anyone who has a love of fresh, seasonal produce and locally made artisan treats. So whether your favorite market is located at San Francisco's Ferry Plaza in downtown Santa Monica, or if you're simply a member of a CSA, you'll love our weekly Market Fresh, available live each Thursday evening at eatdrinkexplore.com. And if you missed the show, follow our updates on Facebook and Twitter for links to the recipes shared, video from the show, and other great information. Eat, Drink, Explore Radio's Market Fresh, helping perfect your California flavor.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
Fabulous.
Live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Amazing.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
Good. Whoa, what happened there? Good morning, everyone. Great to have you with us here on the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm your host, Randall White, as was just announced there by the lovely and talented Kira Clapper. More on her in just a moment. Patty Pyburn is my co-host.
And that was like a Greg Brady moment or something.
I totally did a Greg Brady when it's time to change. So Kira will be joining me in what, 2 or 3 weeks now on July 13th. Kira Clapper works for ABC7 in San Francisco, and you probably see her quite often on there. She works like 7 days a week. And but anyway, she will get off on Saturday, the 13th of July, to help me co-MC the Breast Fest.
Very cool.
Yeah, at Fort Mason. It's a wonderful, wonderful beer festival. I think one of the best beer festivals that I've ever been to. And the setting is fantastic, and it's all for a terrific cause. So join me, Kira Clapper, and lots of other happy people at the Breast Fest in San Francisco on July 13th. We certainly hope you will. So good morning, everyone. Glad you can be here for the show today. Each week, we bring you current information on food, beverage, travel trends, so you can get the most out of your life. And straight ahead on this hour of the show, we are headed again to Firehouse No. 1. This is our second visit there. We were there in the spring as you started your vegetable gardens, raised gardens, those sorts of things. Now it's time for the summer installment of what you need to do to keep your garden in order. And I imagine it's not too late to plant some things, so if you haven't even gotten started yet, our EMT Mike Robbins will be joining us with that information. And then at the bottom of the hour, we welcome Scott Hoffman Black with Xerces, the Xerces Society, on the show. And Scott is an expert in all things bees. And it was this society that uncovered those 50,000 dead bumblebees up in Oregon. And also uncovered the cause for that, I understand. And then we'll also ask him a bit about what happened recently in Illinois, where a beekeeper that was doing studies on bees and what's causing colony collapse had his bees confiscated by the government. And we'll ask him his opinions and thoughts on that as well. But right now, it is time to bring Patty Pyburn into the mix for her unique look at the news. Hey, Patty.
Good morning, Randall White from the Eat, Drink, Explore news desk on this Sunday morning. Here are the stories we're following. There will be more tweaking to the 2013 Farm Bill after it failed to pass the U.S. House on Thursday with 195 in favor and 234 against.
Yeah, that wasn't even close.
No. Major cuts to federal food assistance program known as SNAP, affecting nearly 2 million struggling families with children, a lot of those right here in California. This is according to Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack. House Agriculture Committee Chairman Frank Lucas says he will continue to work on a solution. The Senate already passed its own version, but if the two chambers cannot come together on a bill, Congress may push for an extension of the 2008 Farm Bill that expires in September. So we'll be watching that. A California wine industry employee is on the run this morning, wanted as a fugitive, accused of embezzling nearly $900,000 from his employer. Authorities say Chris Edwards took the money and run from the Wine Tasting Network, a subsidiary of 1-800-Flowers. The direct-to-consumer wine shipping company has since closed, according to the Santa Rosa Press-Democrat. Edwards failed to appear at a hearing in San Francisco on Monday and has not been seen since.
$900,000?
I wonder why they had to close.
Yeah.
Yikes. Oh, my
That's
goodness.
a big embezzlement.
Okay, he does not get Employee of the Month.
I should say not.
Okay, so look to the sky tonight. If you were looking last night, you saw a really awesome moon.
Yeah.
And it will be even more awesomer. No, it will be.
It will be
extreme awesomeness tonight.
Yeah, it'll be outstanding.
Yes, it will be. It will appear 14% larger than normal, and it will come within 200,000 miles of Earth.
This is closest passing, right?
Closest, yes. It is going to happen for us in California about 4:30 a.m. will be the fullest point.
Okay.
So, along with a supermoon, a high tide event is expected, although it's not predicted to be too
outrageous,
remarkable. Nothing to worry about. And also, scientists say, put away all those myths and crazy ideas about high crime and crazy behavior because of the, full moon. People associate crazy behavior with full moon. This is like the fullest moon of all. And they said, if you believe those myths, that's just crazy.
you're the crazy
You're
one,
crazy.
If you believe it. Well, you always, there's that expression, must be a full moon.
Exactly.
But really, I don't know. I think they're...
Yeah, I don't know, but the scientists say they've looked at the numbers and it does not pan out.
Oh, really? Like you can crunch all the crime statistics and
yeah,
stuff
and
like
they say there's not a correlation. So who knows? But you know what? Sometimes it's fun to believe in mythology, I say.
Yeah.
Even if you know it's not true.
Lots of people do.
National Pecan Sandy Day.
Oh, it is National Pecan Sandy Day. Patty, what goes in a pecan sandy? I've never had one before.
Well, I am sorry to say, Randall, one of my favorite ingredients, a whole stick of unsalted butter. And half a cup of light brown sugar. You throw in some vanilla extract and a little salt, a cup of flour, a cup of coarsely chopped up pecans, and voila, you have the makings of a pecan sandy.
Yeah, you just make them into little
balls,
1.5 inch balls, and then you place them on a cookie sheet. And then I've never heard of this before, but I'm not a cookie maker. You take a glass and you smash them.
You want to smash them down.
Cook at 350 until golden brown, about 15 minutes, and you can do this today. It's National Pecan. You say pecan or
pecan sandy.
Yeah,
I say pecans. Yeah, pecan sandy.
Pecan. What's the other way to say it?
Pecan.
Yeah,
I think that might be a southern thing. The pecan.
I don't know. My dad and my sister love pecan pie.
Oh, yeah. I make a mean pecan pie.
It's always too
sweet
sweet for me. I don't know.
You have to have a small sliver. My grandfather liked my pecan pie. He used to say, I like your pie because there's a lot of pecans per acre. That's what he'd tell me.
A lot of pecans per acre. I like that. So as far as the weather forecast goes, Miss Pyburn,
enjoy today. Especially if you're in the upper northern half of the state.
There's a chance of rain?
Yeah, there's a chance of rain. So today should be nice. We're seeing the cloud coverage, and that's expected to burn off for the most part through the middle of the afternoon. So it should be a nice day, warmer today than it will be over the next couple of days, and this applies to pretty much the entire state.
But then it really kind of warms up, right?
And then after Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to hit a warm streak. But for Northern California, this could drop down as low as Big Sur. The models aren't exactly agreeing on that, but chance for some rain, at least morning drizzle and possibly some showers. The farther north you are, the better the possibility for you to see some showers
we
Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah,
it doesn't, it's not really summer-esque to have that, but we do. Any rain we could get, we'll take.
I'll tell you, the Central Valley will cool down to around 70 degrees for the next couple of days. But then 1 week from today, 106 for Sacramento is the forecast. My parents just heard that and just went, oh.
Stay inside.
Exactly.
Stay inside, Mom and Dad.
Just about 9:15 the time here on this Sunday morning. When we return, we're headed to Mountain View, station number 1, for some gardening tips. Mike Robbins is fantastic. You'll really enjoy this segment coming up in just a moment here on the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
May is National Bike Month. Now, I used to be intimidated at the thought of biking to work. I worried about my outfit, the traffic, and the time. But my expanding waistline and rising gas prices helped me rethink that position. And last May, I tried riding to work. What an amazing change. In the years since I started riding to work, I've lost weight, saved money on gas, and canceled my gym membership. You should try it. Here are a few tips to help you get started. Alter your route for biking. Cars and bikes are both vehicles and both have a right to the road, but you'll feel more comfortable and more able to enjoy your ride if you choose less traveled streets. Ride with a friend the first few times, someone who has experience biking to work. They'll help you figure out how to carry your clothes, where to park your bike, and the easiest way to get to the office. Follow all the same rules you follow while driving. Signal before you turn, stop at all stop signs, and stay in the rightmost lane going in your direction. Biking to work is fun, easy, and enjoyable. Try it. For more tips and techniques on how to commute by bicycle or to find other cyclists in your area, visit bikeleague.org.
Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience. Welcome back to the program, everyone. 9:19 now the time here on the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm your host, Randall White, joined by Patty Pyburn. And part of the whole eat concept is that we encourage you from time to time to grow your own so that, you can't get more closely connected to the food you put on your plate than having it come out of your garden. And, even if you live in a condo or an apartment, there are ways to do some raised bed, sort of flower gardening.
There's all kinds of solutions these days to work with the space that you have.
What are those topsy-turvy tomatoes?
Topsy-turvy? There are some alternatives to the topsy-turvy that are actually pretty doable. You can do yourself, and you don't have to buy the as seen on TV thing.
No, right.
You know what I've seen recently that were super cool is these gutters, garden gutters. You use house gutters and attach them to a fence or wall or something, and then you can grow herbs and, carrots and little smaller things.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Well, you know how firemen are known for being pretty good cooks because
what else do they have to do in the firehouse?
Yeah, they have that time
on their downtime.
On their downtime. And so one fireman who's been featured in the media quite a bit lately is Mike Robbins. He's at Mountain View's Firehouse No. 1. He's taken it upon himself to make sure that the ingredients, or a large number of the ingredients that he sources for those delicious firehouse meals, come from the yard there at the firehouse.
It's really awesome.
Isn't it so cool?
Yeah.
He joins us on the line right now to give us his summertime tips. He joins us in the spring to get your garden started, and now joins us with some tips on what we should be doing at this point. Mike, welcome to the program.
Hey, guys. It's great to be back.
Oh, well, we're happy to have you here. Mike sent me a note this morning just before the show started, and he said, well, I'm just getting off my shift. And I'm like, I hope you're not too tired. Hey, Mike, so I'm wondering, is it too late for people at this point in late June to still get started? Are there some plants that if someone's like, oh, I never got around to it this year, are there still some plants that people could throw in the ground and have a successful crop of something?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people with our busy lifestyles struggle to find the time to get a garden going. But if you're interested in it and you run down to the local nursery, I think now is a good time to consider, the starter plants and what your nursery has available to you. I think ordering seeds online or getting seeds at the store or nursery, you're going to be behind the curve on that. It's a little bit late for that, but it's not too late to go with some starter plants. And
that's a great idea, because the nursery, they were on time while you might not have been.
Right.
You were doing their job, they were doing their job as well.
Exactly, so you can play catch up.
Exactly. So I notice in your garden there at the firehouse that you have a number of tomato plants that look like they're doing far better than mine at home. I get confused with tomatoes. I know you're supposed to pinch the sucker. I think they call them suckers. It's the, where two stems divide, and then there's a little leaf that starts growing out of the middle of that V. You're supposed to pinch those, right? Get rid of those?
Well, you can. It's not going to... you're going to get some more better development of the plant, but it's not going to be the end-all as to whether you do or you don't. I think what you need to focus on is good soil and good watering. Some people, I've seen people water in the middle of the day and maybe even water the whole plant. I think focus on planting, or I should say watering the plant at the base and doing it when the sun is down, whether it be in the evening or the morning. But, don't do it after 10 a.m. And it gives, if you get any water on the leaves, then it produces a little microscopic effect, and it'll burn the actual plant to death. So.
It can also give it a chance to get mold, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah, if you're overwatering, you're going to introduce that. So kind of like a moist sponge, something is what you're looking for. When you're thinking about watering, go out and dig your hands down into the soil 3 or 4 inches and get an idea of what's going on down at the root level.
Now, what about pests? Is this a concern? I remember we had tomato plants when I was younger, and these really kind of gross green worms that would get on them, like horny worms.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Pests are are your biggest obstacle at this point in the game. Now that we're developing larger plants as well as if they have fruit on them, I reach for something that's not of the pesticide, if you will, the ethyl methyl stuff. I reach for more of a natural organic approach. And
I want to hear this because I need some help with my tomato plants, and I wanted to stick natural and organic. What is it that you do?
Well, there's Gardner and Bloom makes a good fruit, vegetable, and herb insect control, and its base is a cinnamon oil. So it's very organic, and it's something that you can apply to the actual fruit if need be. But hitting underneath the leaves, depending on what your plant is, that helps. You can use anything from a worm casting tea and putting that on your plants. That has an insect repellent effect as well. Lots of different stuff out there that's not necessarily ethyl methyl stuff.
Hey, Mike, at the base of my tomato plants right now, the leaves are starting to yellow. What do you have any idea what could be causing that?
Well, that's not uncommon. I would remove those and pay attention to your watering. Blight is something that you want to be aware of, whether it be an early or late blight. It's a virus that can attack your tomatoes, and if that's the case, if you start to see a rapid decline in the actual plant health, you're going to want to remove that plant from the area.
I'm going to have to remove all 4 of them.
Well, I've got some extras for you.
Okay, good.
So I have a question for you. I wonder if you've ever heard this before. This is what my mom, when she used to have a garden when we were younger, she swore by because she was organic way, way back before it was fashionable like it is now.
Yeah.
Dish soap and water is what she would put on a lot of her plants, especially tomato plants.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
You've heard of that before?
Yeah, a little soapy water is good for aphids, whether it's on your roses or tomatoes. Yeah, it's a good approach as far as removing the aphids, and it's not the end all is what you're going to have out there as far as pests, but if you're getting some kind of aphid or other type bugs that are approaching those veggies, then that's not uncommon to do.
Okay.
What about birds? When your tomatoes start getting, ripe, the birds might like them as well. I noticed that in your garden, you have a really creative scarecrow made out of a fireman's uniform. Not all of us have access to that, but do scarecrows actually work?
Well, I can tell you that the scarecrow that I have is not exactly working. He's asleep on the job. But I have had squirrels and birds. The birds seem to attack more of my sunflowers than anything. But so I like, I'm working on getting some other twirly birds and some foil tape, et cetera, to...
Oh, yeah, the foil tape.
Yeah, to try and distract them and get them away from the area, because the pests are definitely, they can be a problem.
You see that in the vineyards a lot. When you drive past a really large vineyards, there's so much of that foil tape glittering. It kind of looks cool. And interesting, a little side note here, that movie Bottle Shock that was supposed to be set back in, the mid-'70s or what have you, because they were filming it in present day, you could see that, but they weren't using the foil tape back in the 70s, so that's one of those
one of those wait, that's not right
inconsistencies that I read about. I didn't witness that when I was watching it, so if that's that might be a myth, I don't know. I'm just covering my tracks. Hey, Mike, go ahead.
Don't forget to throw some plants out there, some attractive flowers to get those bees in there and pollinate all those tomatoes. Yeah.
Our whole next segment is on bees. Hey, Mike, have you started a blog or anything?
I have not.
You need to, because you have so many great tips.
Because we want to read it.
And then we could link to that. Yeah, Mike Robbins with Mountain View's Firehouse No. 1. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you in the fall.
Great. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Stick around. Bees are up next. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org.
May is National Bike Month. Now, I used to be intimidated at the thought of biking to work. I worried about my outfit, the traffic, and the time. But my expanding waistline and rising gas prices helped me rethink that position. And last May, I tried riding to work. What an amazing change. In the years since I started riding to work, I've lost weight, saved money on gas, and canceled my gym membership. You should try it. Here are a few tips to help you get started. Alter your route for biking. Cars and bikes are both vehicles and both have a right to the road, but you'll feel more comfortable and more able to enjoy your ride if you choose less traveled streets. Ride with a friend the first few times, someone who has experience biking to work. They'll help you figure out how to carry your clothes, where to park your bike, and the easiest way to get to the office. Follow all the same rules you follow while driving. Signal before you turn, stop at all stop signs, and stay in the rightmost lane going in your direction. Biking to work is fun, easy, and enjoyable. Try it. For more tips and techniques on how to commute by bicycle or to find other cyclists in your area, visit bikeleague.org.
The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience.
Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. Here now is your fabulous host, Mr. Randall White.
I just have to feel good after Monica introduces me that
Yeah.
way. So,
you got to live up to that.
I know. 9:33 the time. Good morning, everyone. On this June the 23rd, we are now solidly into summer. here in North America, or the Northern Hemisphere. I'm your host, Randall White, joined by Patty Piper, and you're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network, and we're happy to have you here. I don't know if you've been checking the headlines lately, but if you have, you've seen several stories from different parts of the country that have to do with bees struggling in most cases, and there seems to be a direct connection to pesticides in each of these stories. A big one out of Oregon has to do with some 50,000 bumblebees that were found dead in a Target parking lot underneath a specific type of tree. And joining us on the line right now to talk a little bit about this is Scott Hoffman Black. He's with the Xerces Society. They're the ones who discovered this issue. Scott, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on, Randall.
Yeah. So when did this discovery happen up in Oregon?
Well, we started getting calls a week ago Sunday, and were able to investigate on Monday and found that bees were just falling out of the trees. It was so amazingly disheartening, just falling out of the trees, hundreds and hundreds of bees as of Monday. As we further investigated, we got the Oregon Department of Agriculture involved, and we're able to find out that this was indeed a pesticide poisoning that was causing the bees to die. And the latest estimate is that over 50,000 bumblebees, as well as some honeybees and things like ladybird beetles, were killed because of this pesticide use.
So is there any move at this point to stop the use of that pesticide? How is whoever's responsible for the spraying reacting to what you all have found?
Well, the company who did the spray has come out now. It took them a week to come out and say they will try to make things right. I'm not sure how you make things right when you kill 50,000 bees. I think the bigger issue, and an issue that the Xerces Society, as well as many other sustainable agricultural groups and pesticide groups, have been pushing in Washington, D.C., is getting EPA to take steps to limit the damage from these toxic insecticides. These are specifically neonicotinoid insecticides, which many people may have heard of.
Scott, what are these types of trees, and why is it that they needed to have pesticides on them at all? These were just parking lot trees, right?
They were parking lot trees, and they were sprayed for aphids. Aphids don't hurt the trees, but what they do is they produce honeydew, which falls on cars, perfectly water-soluble, easy to wash off, but it is a nuisance, I guess, and they decided to spray these trees purely for a cosmetic reason, causing this damage.
What is the type of tree? They have like little yellow flowers?
Yeah, it's a European linden tree. So they're planted all over the country, parking lot trees, street trees, often in people's yards. And they've got a really nutritious nectar source that bees are attracted to. So makes them, unfortunately, really problematic if you're using toxic insecticides on them, because the bees are drawn there for the food.
It's really sad. Is the thinking behind colony collapse disorder, because we've heard so many different things about that, changing habitat or elimination of habitat or mites that might be the problem. What's the thinking at this point on the colony collapse disorder for honeybees?
Yes. First, to clarify, this kill has nothing to do with colony collapse disorder. It's a pesticide, direct pesticide poisoning. And in this case, it was almost all native bees. Honeybees are not native. They're very important for our agricultural systems, but they were brought from Europe. Native bees are just as important for many agricultural systems. And in the case of Oregon, we think we could have lost 300 wild colonies of these bumblebees.
Wow. Because they're all pollinators. Whether they're honeybees or not, they're pollinators.
They're pollinators. And honeybees, native bees, they're all in this complex of pollinators. Many of them help pollinate our most nutritious foods. 1/3 of your food you eat is you can thank a pollinator for, and they're the most nutritious foods that we have. They're the fruits, the vegetables, many of the nuts, we would have rice, we would have corn, we would have wheat, but we'd have a pretty dull diet without pollinators.
That's for sure.
But back to colony collapse disorder. Colony collapse disorder is an affliction that affects honeybees, and it was first noticed in 2006. And what happens is that it's really fascinating because the bees leave the hive. All of the worker bees, which are all female, they just leave the hive and go somewhere to die, is what everyone believes, leaving the queen and the brood, which are the babies, to die separately. Now, we believe, and the latest information is that this is a complex of issues affecting colony collapse disorder. It may have to do with nutrition. These many bees are trucked around, so there's some stress. But the overlying issues are that likely pesticides in the hives and a disease that affects the bees that aren't doing well. Think about yourself. If you were having to take in pesticides, your immune system would be lowered. Likely these bees have a lowered immune system, and a new disease is causing this phenomenon. And it's pretty startling. Over 40% of hives were lost in many cases last year across the country.
Just last year alone.
Yes.
Scott, can you speak to what happened recently in Illinois where the researcher...
He's a beekeeper, Terrence Ingram, in Illinois, who had his hives seized by the ag department there. Have you heard about this?
I've heard about it, but I really can't speak to it because I'm not knowledgeable enough to speak expertly, and I like to have my facts.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, we were wondering because it looks like he had made a direct connection to Roundup.
That's what he's claiming.
Yeah, and so
yeah, and Roundup is a herbicide, so that's interesting. Herbicides oftentimes, I suppose, we believe that they don't really affect these animals, but there have been studies actually that show that if butterfly caterpillars eat plants that have been affected by certain herbicides, and I'm not pointing out Roundup specifically, but if they eat plants with specific herbicides, it will affect their growth rate and will potentially harm them. But again, I can't really speak to this issue.
Mm-hmm. Scott, I had read in the Oregonian yesterday that there were some other isolated deaths of bees surrounding this same area. It wasn't nearly on the scale of 50,000. It was like 100 here and that sort of thing.
Right.
Did you see that as well?
Oh, yes. We actually have been following that, and we asked the Oregon Department of Agriculture to investigate that bee kill as well. This is in Hillsboro, seems to be the other largest one.
That's a suburb of Portland?
It's another suburb of Portland. Mm-hmm. We're seeing hundreds of bees die. It has been confirmed that the same pesticide was used on those trees. The difference is that pesticide in Wilsonville was used outside of the registration. They did not follow the rules. In Hillsboro, we believe they did follow the rules on this toxic insecticide. It was used in March. It wasn't used when bees were visiting because it was well before the flowers. But this just shows how long these insecticides can be toxic in these situations. Applied in March, still killing hundreds of bees in June when the plant flowers. Now, think of this and multiply it orders of magnitude across the country. We're using these insecticides in all of our environments, and for the most part, unless these bees fall on concrete, nobody's going to notice that they're dying. If they fall into ag fields, if they fall into a park, we would not know that we're seeing that so many bees are dying.
It would go unnoticed.
It would go unnoticed, and I think this is happening hundreds, thousands folds across the country with these insecticides. And I think Hillsboro really brings it home because at this point we don't have all of the information, but we believe it is a pesticide kill. We know the pesticide was applied in March, likely under the rules of the registration, yet we're still seeing bees die. Again, as you said, rightfully so, not in the magnitude we saw in Wilsonville, but still hundreds of bees dying under trees is disconcerting.
And so what, your organization, because we're talking about bees, but you are concerned about other critters. What does it encompass?
We are concerned about anything without a backbone, basically.
Invertebrates.
We work on snails. We work on monarch butterflies, which San Luis Obispo has the largest populations of in California. We work on everything in between, tiger beetles and freshwater mussels. And these insecticides, one thing that most people talk about bees with these neonicotinoids, but lots of new studies show that they affect the broader ecosystems. Many of the other beneficials, ladybird beetles, but also the aquatic organisms that are the underpinning of really the aquatic life. You won't have the fish, you won't have many of the birds without these aquatic organisms. And one thing I'll point out is that the state of California is likely approving one of these neonicotinoids for use on rice.
Hey, Scott, I want to address that. I know you have a plane to catch. Can you stick around for one more segment?
I sure can.
Okay, great. 9:44 the time. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm Randall White with my co-host Patty Pyburn. We are talking with Scott Hoffman Black with the Xerces Society, and we're back in just a moment. Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience. .49 now the time here on this Sunday morning, June the 23rd. Great to have you with us, everyone. Don't forget to catch the supermoon tonight. It is, you might have saw it last night as well. Beautiful, big, 14% larger than normal, Patty. Is that right?
That's what it's going to be. 14% larger, 222,000 miles away from the Earth. So it'll be at its closest point.
Yeah. So nothing to worry about, though. People won't be going crazy and that sort of thing.
The scientists say there's no correlation with that.
Joining us on the line right now, I'll hold over from the last segment, is Scott Hoffman Black with the Xerces Society. And when we ran into the commercial break there, Scott, you were just about to talk about a pesticide here in California that is in the approval process. Is that right?
That's right. There are many pesticides used in both agriculture and in urban areas throughout California and the United States. One thing I will point out is that oftentimes we use more pounds per acre in urban areas than we do in ag areas, so we can't just point to them.
Right.
But in this case, one of the highly toxic neonicotinoids, imidacloprid, is on track to be approved to use in rice in the Central Valley of California. And unfortunately, these insecticides are extremely water soluble, and they're extremely toxic to aquatic organisms. These fields run right off into the Sacramento and San Joaquin rivers and their tributaries, and this is really, really problematic from an aquatic ecosystem point of view.
So the rice industry is huge in California.
Mm-hmm.
Is this one of those cases where rice could become like a dirty dozen sort of thing where you should definitely look for organic?
Well, I'm going to speak a little outside of my my scientific background and say that I only buy organic. I've got 3 children, and especially with this class of insecticide, I used to have that card which told you which ones you could wash the insecticide off of.
Mm-hmm.
But this class of insecticide is systemic. So if they're using neonicotinoids, that means there's likely this product in the food we eat, not on it, in it.
Can't wash that off.
Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not a scientist who works on human health, but to me, feeding my kids something with a toxic substance in it that might be carcinogenic down the road is really problematic for me.
Well, Patty and I were discussing off-air, Scott, that we were kind of wondering bee death, whether it's a bumble or honey, is that somewhat like a canary in a coal mine for us?
I think it really is. We are seeing right now, I would contend, cracks in the system. These animals are keystone species. They pollinate both crops that are important for us, but pollinators, especially wild pollinators, are vital for over 85% of the flowering plants on the planet. Think of it, 85%. And and hence those berries and nuts and seeds are eaten by songbirds and other animals up to grizzly bears. And we're basically really starting to see these organisms decline, and I believe pesticides is definitely one of the reasons for that.
It is really alarming, and you think about, we need to start having that concept of a day without a pollinator, like what the earth would look like without their survival. It's really kind of terrifying if you think about it. You mentioned that here in SLO County, we are home to the monarch groves in Pismo. the monarchs like to come stop off here for a while, and they're also affected by this. What can people do? What should people be doing to, I just find that when I talk to people, they say, myself, I can't make a large enough change for my contribution to be worth it. But what can we do?
See, and I couldn't disagree more. I've worked on wolves, I've worked on spotted owls, I've worked on salmon. Now I've run the Xerces Society for 10 years. One of the great things about conserving pollinators and other invertebrates is anybody can take steps. It doesn't matter how big your yard is, whether you even live in an apartment. We have what's called the Pollinator Pledge, and it's so easy. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Plant flowering plants that are beneficial to pollinators that bloom all season long. Think about where these animals nest. In the case of monarchs, they overwinter at these sites along the coast, and Xerces is working very hard to protect those sites. In many cases, these bees will nest right in your landscape, and you need to think about where they might nest. And then number 3 is just don't use pesticides. These things are toxic to these important animals, and especially in urban environments, we just don't need them for cosmetic purposes. I think in agriculture, we can work and start to be more sustainable and move to organic and sustainable produce. But I think that I can say right now, just stop using them in urban areas because they're just not needed.
And these trees up in Oregon that were responsible for the 50,000 bumblebees, that was a cosmetic application, right?
It wasn't a food need.
It wasn't a food need. It wasn't an economic need. It was purely cosmetic. I will end by saying that you can get all of the information you need at the Xerces website. Our goal is to take scientific information and make it easily usable by gardeners and farmers and others. Just go to Xerces.org, and you can take our Pollinator Pledge. You can download lots of information. And then the last I would say is spread the word. If you're interested in this topic and you want to make a difference, start working in your own community. Talk to the city. Find out whether they're spraying these chemicals. Talk to the county. Talk to the Parks Department. Talk to your neighbors and start a conversation, and we can make a difference.
That's a great point because it does start on that level. Like you said, one person can talk to somebody at the city. The next thing you know, that starts building steam, and then the cities stop using these pesticides and herbicides.
Start the conversation. I'm on your website right now, and it's really easy to use. Lots of great information, and like you were saying, it's easily accessible. I can understand. I'm not a scientific person, but I can get it.
Patty and I were in the news industry, are still in the news industry for a really long time, and people that can boil it down and make it digestible
makes all the difference.
You're very rare, Scott. We love that. Scott Hoffman Black with Xerces, the Xerces Society. That is spelled with an X. Xerces.org. Xerces.org. We have it linked at eatdrinkexplore.com under today's program summary. Scott, you were such a fantastic addition to the show today. We're glad that you were the final half hour. You just imparted terrific information. Thank you so much, and safe travels today.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Stick around, what am I saying? It's the end of the show.
See you next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, whatever station you're listening to, stick around. We want you to be there.
Keep listening.
9:57 the time. Great to have you with us, everyone, on this June the 23rd. And don't forget to check out that moon tonight, the big super moon. We'll leave it there. Catch you back here next week.
You've been listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you missed any of our segments today, look for them online or through our free Apple and Android apps. Catch you back right here next week.